Wow. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here with us at San Francisco Camerawork today. I'm seeing a lot of really familiar, amazing names. We'll get started in just a second here.
Hey everyone. Hi Joel.
Hi.
Hi Jennifer. Hi Maria. Hi Scott.
Hey,
Hi, Brittany.
Hey
Thank
Lottie.
you. Hi, Jen. Oh, look at Jen Green. Look at my
oh,
phone.
hey, Frisch Brand. I thought that was the Frisch that it might be. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining us. We have everybody's microphones on mute for now, but it makes us feel really happy to see you waving. Thank you for all being here.
Yeah.
We're a little bit past 6 o'clock, so I think we're going to go. What's that?
Sorry.
Oh, so hey, all good, man. So we're a little bit after 6 o'clock, so I think we are going to go ahead and get started with our program tonight. Thank you all so much for being here. My name is Dave Elving. I'm the interim executive director here at San Francisco Camerawork. And as you know, we are a nonprofit organization. We rely on your support to bring you events like these. So please visit our website, sfcamerawork.org, where you will have an opportunity to become a member, learn more about cool events like this, and there are other ways to support us as well. Speaking of upcoming events, after tonight, we have some great things coming up in the future. We have our August members critique coming up with Wissam Al-Badri. And on September 1st, join us for an artist talk with Keisha Lucas, the taxonomy of belonging. As you may already know, we are recording this tonight. So if you would prefer not to appear, feel free to hit the off button on your camera. We will have opportunities for questions. Please write those questions in the chat, and towards the end of the evening, Adrian and Curtis will take some time to take those questions. So thank you for joining us tonight. We're excited to welcome Adrian Octavius Walker and Curtis Taylor Jr. to expand on their journeys as Black creatives during COVID and the continuation of tragedies as it relates to Black bodies. We're eager to hear their perspective tonight. Adrian Octavius Walker is a mixed media artist based in Chicago by way of St. Louis, Missouri. His work is inspired by the Black body, dynamics of the untold stories they share, dynamics of the Black family, and archival work related to the African-American experience and the untold stories they share. Working in both film and digital format photography, Walker creates penetrating portraits influenced by his deep awareness of the nuances that pervade the human experience. His greatest milestone to date is being one of the prize-winning artists in the Outwin 2019 American Portraiture Today competition, currently on display at the National Portrait Gallery at the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. Walker is currently represented by Point 2 Gallery here in Oakland. Curtis Taylor Jr. is a director, academic, and image maker from St. Louis, based out of Atlanta, Georgia, dedicated to building worlds with people of color at the center through fiction. Always having had a passion for film, Taylor used his collegiate experience as an opportunity to leverage access for underrepresented voices as a bridge between education and creativity. After completing his BA and Master's in Education at the University of Missouri, Curtis then went on to build worlds with companies such as Instagram, Facebook, Giphy, Leo Burnett Chicago, Red Bull, Shea Moisture, and more. More recently, Curtis served as director of photography at BuzzFeed Motion Pictures in Los Angeles with a portfolio that spans disruptive viral campaigns. Curtis is a next-gen filmmaker and academic who strives to use his gaze to move the needle, liberating underrepresented voices every day. What keeps him going is the ability to build a world tomorrow that yesterday never had, which is a great way to segue into the conversation we're excited to host with Adrian Octavius Walker, Curtis Taylor Jr. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us here today.
Thank you.
Thank you for the introduction. I got people that's on IG Live looking for the talk.
I'm like, also, I'm trying to put my phone down as well. No, thank you. Thank you so much for creating this space. Like, first of all, for giving us the opportunity to be able to dive into our stories and to have discourse. And so I'm gonna let Adrian kick us off.
Yeah, thanks everybody for being here with us in this space. We definitely wish that we can be with you all in person, but due to all the unfortunate things that are going on right now, Zoom is our home. Again, I'm Adrian Walker. I don't really have to introduce myself again, I guess. We were going to do that. That was like on my notes. But it's all good. Dave took care of that. But this is cool because this is like around the time that me and Curtis pretty much just like talk anyways. We just be on the phone, like just talking ideas, life, crying sometimes, just sharing space, you know.
Yeah.
The online hugs, you know, through the social medias and stuff like that. But right now, you know, it was cool and right on time to hear from SF Camerawork, and also just kind of like knowing when they approached me to do this, it was like to do it by myself, and I was like, nah, I gotta invite the homie, and I knew exactly who that person was. So thank you, Curtis, for accepting this invitation to talk to me live with 53 people right now. I appreciate that, young brother. But I just want to kind of get into the background of us, you know, basically kind of move into like how we met, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like people probably want to know like why us, why we're speaking, those who don't know us close and stuff like that. So kind of want to kick it off there.
Yeah. Well, I'll start. When I was growing up in high school, Adrian was one of, you know, a collective under the umbrella or alias of Made Monarchs. They were, you know, this creative collective that St. Louis, I would say at the time, at least for our generation, had never seen something like that. They were doing like experimental and experiential events before it was a thing. They were like bringing these indie artists to St. Louis to have concerts. And so they were sort of, you know, our segue within the Midwest and specifically in St. Louis into what it was to be a creative, and that, you know, it was actually cool. And it was profitable. And so that was my first sort of entrance into like knowing who Adrian was. He was a cat who was always around with a camera. And I'm just like, yo, that dude's cool. And then, you know, that relationship just online, when I was in college, you know, kind of grew. I was on a road trip with my brother at the time, and we came to, where were you at, Adrian? Colorado, but where at in Colorado?
Colorado Springs.
Yeah, to Colorado Springs, and we met, was it a ramen shop? We like met in a random like food joint, and this is when Adrian was at Visco out there, and yeah, the relationship just kind of grew from there. So Adrian, I'll let you touch on, I would say, what is the most like, I would say where our relationship really changed.
Changed.
Yeah.
So that was, you were at Marcus Graham. What was it, 2005? I mean, 2015?
Yeah, 2015.
2015.
2014 is when I was in it, but 2015 is when it was.
Yeah. So yeah, this was like the graduation ceremony of Marcus Graham, and I was there photographing the gala for a good friend of ours, Lincoln, and it was a moment. It was an actual moment because Curtis just received this award / like what, full ride scholarship. What was it?
It was a grant. It was a grant.
The man got some money to go to school. The man got some money to go to school. This was crazy because Curtis had lost his mom, and we shared that because we both, you know, our dear mothers are shining above us. And you know, it was like a crazy emotional just experience of him receiving this. And then like the story that he shared with the audience was like, it was crazy. And I captured this photo of Curtis. It was like that beautiful cry. Like it was this intimate.
Oh, don't make me cry right now, dog.
It was crazy. It was just like capturing it. And that's kind of like, all right, we brothers. It's done. So capture that moment of him within that space at that time with so much emotion behind it, and like, you know, it kind of like basically solidified where we are today. And it's a stem from like visit from Colorado Springs to photo to curating shows, doing talks, newsletters, and everything else.
Yeah.
Bridging gaps,
Like,
you know.
that is that's literally the only photo I have documented of me crying. Like, and yeah, I look back to that photo now, and you know, I think that that's so important in like the foundation of what our brotherhood is, and what we've built, is that there was, I wish we would have been able to show that photo. That would have been a good photo to show, because it solidified, you know, this sort of like space in which we as like two Black men didn't have to fight through transparency, or what it meant to show up for each other and be vulnerable, right? And I think a lot of our emotional intelligence and what we put and infuse into our work is baked around the fact that we've lost, you know, mothers. And so we connect on this idea of being like untethered, you know, to like the world and, you know, the literal vessel and body that brought you into this space. And so when you captured that, bro, that picture changed my life. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even about the money at that point, you know. It was about the fact that, like, at that point, I knew who you were as an image maker, and I knew how important you would be to the world.
Woo! On that note, the talk is over with. No. Mic drop. But yeah, man, thank you so much. I appreciate that, and I'm glad that I was there, you know, and we shared that moment. I mean, and then from there, the work that you see behind us, Curtis trusted me. He trusted this work. He saw a vision. He was like, yo, we have this beautiful space, which I've been following. It's the Greens. It was a store. I wouldn't call it a store. I would call this a safe space in Columbia, Missouri, for creatives or folks who are into fashion, who just want to like just be around community. I had my solo show there, and you know, a lot of people like, you know, I didn't even talk to you about this, but people question it, like, why would you have your solo show at a store, you know? And I was like, you don't even get it, you know. But those same people who showed up understood, you know, because it was a whole thing, you know. Like the setup was crazy. I know a few people here. Shout out to my good friend, my sister Kiara Johnson, who came from Oakland. We had people coming from Oakland to Columbia, Missouri.
Yeah.
This is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the show was like epic. You know, this was like, I felt like this was like the time where I just like unleashed like my true, like, all right, I can't go back from here, you know? Yeah. And just you trusted me, and then also like, you know, helping me just elevate that time. You know, we stayed up all day, like all night, to curate the space and turn it into something that we never thought it could be, you know. And it was there for a solid month. You know, people were just coming in, still shopping, seeing the space, you know, buying work, talking about the work, taking pictures with the work. So it's just like that show like literally changed my life. And this work, you know, We Matter changed my life for the better. And it's like one of those things where I was just like, hey, bro, I'm kind of like, I want to shake We Matter. He was like, why? Like, ride it, you know? It's just like, It's there with you for a reason. So Curtis has been like a true, you know, like a testament for me to like just ride this work out as much as I can and like really take it to the places I never thought it could go.
Yeah. And honestly, bro, like the Greens and what me and Marquise wanted to do, you know, with that space it's the idea that so many of us who are from these spaces, right, in the Midwest and the South, you know, these are conversations that me and you have all the time. Is like, yo, we are overlooked time and time again. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're the story that's undocumented. We're the story that, you know, it goes unreported. And so us being able to curate this space, you know, that was using streetwear as a vehicle for a larger conversation, right? It's like, why could a space, right, not also function as a curatory, you know, sort of touch point for the local community? Like, we don't have to look at museums, you know, in these archaic ways. Like, and I think that, you know, to be very frank, I think that whiteness has created this belief that like only their institutions are the things that are enough to, you know, solidify and also to affirm like who we are, and like what Black thought and Black art is. But as much as it was something for you, like it was you also saying that our space was enough. And I think that that is the first thing that we have to do. Like, to be an advocate is an ongoing thing. You know what I mean? I think that everybody is obsessed with the idea of being an ally, but like, what does allyship look like in the work? Like, allyship is also, you know, tapping these Black spaces and saying that they are legitimate. Not that we need, you know, white approval, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, we need to be able to sit within that canon. You know what I mean? So for me, We Matter wasn't just about a work. You know what I mean? And we talked about that. We Matter was like church. It was a spiritual experience that just so happened in a place. You know what I mean?
We had every element from a playlist to a performance piece, like people rejoicing, you know what I'm saying? It's like the conversation that we had, like literally everything was set up to a point where it's just like, damn, we can do this all the time, you know? And I think that's kind of like not waiting on institutions to mostly like knock on our doors. It's like we have our own doors that we can just open for each other, you know?
Yeah.
If it's inside of a space or whether it's like something we literally create outside of our home or whatever, you know, we're inviting folks to come into this space or whatever to celebrate, to rejoice, to also learn, to take away something. And that's what the Greens did for me and many, many others.
Yeah. I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, everything that y'all did at the space was just like, I mean, you took it there, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like you all probably had, like, you and Marquise, Colin, everybody, y'all probably had other places shook, you know what I'm saying? Because this is literally a space owned by young Black men, not even in their 30s yet, you know what I'm saying? This is kind of like unheard, you know? And that's also to look at like where we're from, St. Louis. Because, you know, St. Louis is, I love my city. A lot of us, we love our city, but it's just like, it could be a hard place, you know what I'm saying? To really touch on who you are as a creative, as a person. And I'm like super duper proud to be from a city, but at the same time, it's just like also looking at my nephew, my nieces and stuff like that. It's like, hey, you can do the same thing that I've done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you know, people stay talking stuff about folks who leave St. Louis and start something. It's like,
I mean, this, first of all, I also think, and you know, we had the meeting before the meeting, because you got to do that, right? Like, we said we wanted to come into this space and actually do the work, have the conversation, you know, about this ability to create access through wherever it is that you ascend in your career. You know what I mean? It's about bringing it back. I remember how many conversations I had post Ferguson, right? And the ways in which people talked about Ferguson, Missouri, as if it was like
like it was hell on earth.
Yeah, like random space just that didn't exist. I'm like, yo, there are people here. Yeah. Like there's real life happening here. And also we got to talk about, you know, this sort of like amplifying, right, of work from Midwest and Southern artists. But it's like, we've been doing this work though. Like, this work, you're new.
Right.
You're just getting onto it, but the work's been done.
Right. And that's how I felt when I was photographing Ferguson, seeing all these like new people coming to the city, and also being a part of that and capturing Ferguson in a way that I knew I was provoking truth versus Marianne from MSNBC coming in just to try to get a photo to land a cover or something like
Yeah.
that. You know,
To win an award. To win
I
an
wasn't
award.
thinking about an award. I was thinking about provoking the truth of what was actually happening in my city versus what people was putting out. So to have people knocking at my door asking for imagery, trying to buy imagery and stuff like that, you couldn't put a dollar, you couldn't put any number on that time in my life or any time in my life, period, to make your space look better.
Yeah.
It just didn't happen that way.
And it's and to the point of, you know, this conversation, right, about being a Black creative, I think also, you know, we talked about this too, like there's this like cultural code switching that's happening like at the top, and companies, you know, wanting buy-in into Blackness, right, and Black work, right, but like are not making space for Black thought, right, and or unpacking what it means to have Black fatigue. Like you're not just documenting Ferguson and like that's just it. Like you're putting your body and your person on the front lines to make sure that this is cemented in history through our gaze. You know what I mean? So
I still gotta wake up and be Black the next day. You literally waking up, you going to your 9 to 5, your 401k, everything else in the world is like pretty much set up for you. And it's like, we have to provide for our own. You know what I'm saying?
Come on now.
Why is it only 4 of us at your company?
And also, do you have it made up in your mind that I want to be the only one? And not only that, you want me to do my job and you want me to do the D&I work, but you don't want to pay me more? That's not happening. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. And then you want to tap Black creatives, but you don't have no budget. I get really confused when everybody wants these really big $1 million ideas, but they don't got no budget. Or the budget be like shoestring. Like,
I mean, that goes right into sharing space and what does sharing space actually mean? You know, I think a lot of folks like kind of have this conflict. They don't kind of get it. It may be hard. You know, it's a lot of
it ain't hard.
A lot of language there's a lot of language that they use around it. You know, it's kind of weird that LinkedIn language. You know what I'm talking about.
Okay, bro, a hot take. So I have a running note. Of like LinkedIn things that I'm gonna post. The hot take is language is one of the biggest gatekeepers of all time. All of this coded things that are hidden in the back end just because you don't have the right language, you don't have access to be able to explain, you know, in this politically correct way. But we have been, what I'm trying to get back to is the fact that we've been here. We've been the archivist, we've been the historian, we've been the one, Black women specifically have been the ones who have been the backbone of everything that's going on around here, both interior and exterior structures, right? And so it's just like, you're making it seem like you're giving me an opportunity.
Right. It's crazy.
You're giving me space.
Been here. It shouldn't even took me this long to get here, you know? But I think, but it goes into like, what does the work mean? What does the work actually mean?
Oh my God. So
like, we got to do the work. What does the work actually mean? Because I feel like we've done the work.
Look, I can't even, honestly, I won't say that. Okay. We're doing the work. The work never ends. That's the thing. I feel like everybody feels like they want to get real comfortable in the groove. The work ain't the groove. The work is not a space that's static. You know what I mean? Like, we're doing the work as Black men. Every night we get on the phone past 10 p.m., which is usually reserved, right? If we really gonna have a conversation, like them traditionally caking hours. I remember my pops being like, "Are you on the phone with a dude?" 10 o'clock at night. Mm-hmm. What y'all talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's part of the work. And that spills into the creative, right? Like, that spills into why We Matter spoke to me so much. It spills into why, you know, you were like, bro, I want you to come out here to Oakland and help me do this thing, right? It's because that level of brotherhood, that level of intimacy amongst men, right, in a healthy way, is elevating the work, and it's making your work have a longer life, because it's like, bro, people are still picking up on what we matter, excuse me, means.
Right. I think the thing is, it's like not being afraid of knowing like you need help. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to need help. And I think like a lot of us could learn. I was that way. I was that way before. You know, it took me a long time to really be like, damn, I need some help.
Yeah.
Like additional assistance to like really like get this work out there. You know what I'm saying? The way. So I was like, I knew I had to fly you out to Oakland. Like it was no question.
Come on,
you know,
flew me out. You heard him? Flew me out. Okay. Let's not
flew him
talk
out
over
and
that.
put him up. And put him up.
And put me up. Okay. That's the type of stuff I'm talking about. Even when you bring your homie in, don't bring your homie in on some lukewarm idea concept. If they got budget, hey bro, we got you in the suite. We got you first class. We eat the whole time you there. You got a stipend. That's the work.
Yeah.
If we're really talking about the work, making sure people eat outside of you, making sure that money stays circulating in the community, that's the work.
And that's basically going into creating space for each other. That's how you create space for each other. You know, yeah,
Okay.
A winner circle. There you go, a winner circle. It's just like really creating that, and it's just like, oh, well, that's how Adrian and Curtis did, or that's how Brittany and so-and-so did with this yoga. Like, it's kind of like using these examples, you know what I'm saying? It's like showing like how the work is actually done and then moving on from there. That's kind of like stems from like Made Monarchs. I learned that back then. You know, I was like, in order for us to get better and do better or whatever, we kind of like got to keep everything here. You know, we can't go out and splurge.
Absolutely.
We can't splurge as much as we wanted to. We can't splurge. We got to create something there, a cushion. You know what I'm saying? A safety net to fall back on just in case. We always have to do that because I can't go to my dad and ask him for nothing.
Also, we just started talking numbers. Can we talk about that? We just started talking numbers with homies. Yeah. I'm like, don't hit me. I've absolutely become the homie. Please do not hear me talking about, yeah, bro, like I just signed this deal. I'm like, what that mean? What was the bag? How big of a Telfar? We talking about we talking about the mini? We talking about the medium, the large? How big was the Telfar bag? You know what I'm sitting on top of that? Like, if we don't do this work in public, right, then we are going to continue to perpetuate that same ideology through generations. But it's the same reason that we're getting into these spaces. And I think that everybody's talking about the room and they talking about the table and all of that. That's cute. I want the building. I want the land that it's on. Don't give me the room. Give me the land you built it on. Because you get that. That's generational. Like, we got to talk about generational wealth. We got to talk about the economy, like the economics of it all. I had a homie who we were talking about Black is King. His name is Obi. And he said, bro, honestly, all the conversation that's happening around Black is King creatively is fire. But you know what I'm most excited about? The economics of it all. Mm-hmm. Beyonce stretched one moment into like 20 streams of income. How about that? Let's talk about that.
I mean, we got to talk about the fact that the website just putting everybody on.
The merch.
The merch.
The rollout? I'm just like, bruh, like
we're here. But the thing is, we've been here. But it's just
we've been here, dog.
Just change the name of the talk, y'all. It's called "We've Been Here."
We've been here. Black creative today. What about yesterday? What about 200 years ago? I'm like, innately, it is in our DNA to be without and still excel.
What did I tell
Like,
you? What did I tell you? I said, don't, I said, what did I say? I said, I don't want folks to wait till I'm gone to start buying my work. I'm here. I'm literally right in front of you. We can talk about it. I can bring it to you. Don't wait.
Dog.
Don't wait. It's like, it's right here.
Don't.
I wanted to do the talk downstairs, but I have a 2-year-old. I have a wall full of black art. Just a wall.
Give me the flowers while I can smell them. These nostrils still work right now, real time. Let's do it. You know what I mean? And there's nothing there's actually something spiritual that happens when you hype homies up. When you are the one that's like, you know what was that old phrase? If you blessing a neighbor, that mean he in the neighborhood. I'm that cat. Like, you know, okay, prime example. This is a real life story. Adrian, did you not win a grant? Were you not a part of winning a grant last week?
Oh, yeah.
A grant I also applied for. Yeah. A grant I also got into the final round for. Yeah. And the same day had to be happy for you when I didn't get it. You understand what I'm saying? That is the level in which we have to have buy-in, right? Into community. Like, what does true community look like? And it's like, even in the midst of you going without, right, you're still willing to pour. You're still willing to elevate and exalt the work that other people are doing, because it's not about erasing people. Right. We done with that. We off that. Erasing people.
It's literally cultivating an inclusive community right in front of us, you know, like, but how could we do that behind these screens though? Is it like, because like a lot of folks is like saying like, you know, things are hard, you know, things are really hard right now, because I miss the handshake hug with the homies.
Yeah.
You know, like I miss that, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, for me, cultivating a community while being at home when we're supposed to be at home, you know what I'm saying? How do we do that? You know I have different spaces right now where it's like we have like a workout class in the morning, and that's like a really great place to go. And it's really like a space where we share laughs, we share, like, even though it could be like from 20 minutes to an hour, you know what I'm saying? It's still like a space that we share. So it's just like, how do we do the work now? Like, how do we do it? Like, like behind the screens. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm like kind of getting tired of these online exhibitions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's just kind of like trying to think of like what else, because we don't know what it's gonna look like next year. Because we thought this was gonna be over in the summer. Remember when Rona was gonna die when the summer came?
When Rona was gonna come back in the house, Rona at this point outside with their friends, kicking it. You hear me? This is a St. Louis summer down by the arch, drinking a peach vest, eating whatever.
I don't know what Chicago summer is.
They outside kicking it. You hear me? And the thing is, you know what's crazy, bro? If somebody would have asked me this as a creative, like, where was I 2 months ago, right? 2 months ago, I would have told you, actually, no. 2 months in, I would have told you, I don't know what we look like at the end of this. Me now, I'm excited about this. I'm not excited about what COVID is doing, because that's a reality that people are dying, right? But I am excited about how it's making us think. I think that we all got way too comfortable, right? And this is a moment that the thought leaders emerge. This is the new Black Renaissance that people thought was happening. No, it's right now. This is, there was a quote that I seen that everybody was a good CEO before COVID. What about now?
Right.
Everybody was a good creator when you could be outside in Mykonos taking photos, bathed up into the room.
It's so weird. It's just like the check-ins. I grew so tired of the check-ins. How you doing? Yada, 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 from losing a job. And then Corona happened, and like, you know, like everything happening, and like COVID happening, and just like, where were you before? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I was the same person here. I was literally doing the same work, having to check and take care of my family, move from another state, you know, do the work here. I'm doing the work everywhere I go. You know what I'm saying? Nothing has changed.
Mhm.
And for us to be now like looked at as like we need X, Y, and Z inside of our spaces or whatever, looking for like these CEOs, looking for these direct reports who aren't white or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
we've literally been in these spaces for a long time. It's just like giving us that push. Like, and it's not like we come into these places as if like we want to like take over. I think that's what folks are mostly afraid of. Or whatever. We just want to have, and it's like beyond a seat, like you said, we do want the space or whatnot.
Yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, it's like we do want to cultivate that community, and that's what I purposely always try to do.
Yeah.
When I was at Visco, at this company, bringing in so many type of people. I want to let everybody know that I got something going on or whatever, because I want you to experience.
Absolutely.
I literally want you to experience. I want you to see. Because me being in a tech company, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like again, going back to St. Louis, I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't even know if it was actually a thing. You know, so I didn't know that it existed. Free lunch,
bro. What? I didn't know what a LaCroix was.
You come and eat. You come and eat. I didn't know what the hell a LaCroix was.
I was calling homies just to lunch so they could get a free meal. Like, we didn't have nothing to talk about. Nope. Like, just because, like, where do they do this? Like,
show up because I'm here. I'm here now. You know,
pull up.
This space is about to look real different. This space is about to look real different. And it's just like, I don't think, like, I really don't think, like, nobody will ever be able to experience this, like, these type of moments, these truths like us, man. Like, I don't think it'll ever be.
But you know what, though? We have to, there's some points I wanted to hit on that you said. It's just like, I'm going to be honest with you. Can we do that?
Yeah, we got time. We got 20 minutes.
They should be scared. They should be. I would be scared too. Cam Newton already told you, you ain't seen this version of me yet. I would be scared of me. You know what I mean? There is something that happens in you when you awaken. Although this is nothing new, for a lot of us, we are just now starting to stand in our power. We're just now starting to realize, like, oh, wait a second. I've always been a cultural anthropologist, right? Like, I've always been a strategist. And so what happens when you put all of us back at ground zero? That's where the real emerge. And that's why I'm like, I'm excited about where we are and where we're going, because you should be scared. Because those same ecosystems that we were in, it's like you left Visco, I left BuzzFeed, and the catch was, while we were thinking it was the name, we were the name.
Right.
They was trying to keep us in the room, not us trying to get in it. And the minute that you realize that, and we align, because one of the points we want to talk about was mentorship, right?
Right.
Some of my greatest mentors are my homies.
Same. They've been there. They've had the seats or whatever. They've been in the rooms. They sit on the sea levels. They are like literally there. You know what I'm saying? And so for me to see those folks that look just like me, I think the thing is, the reason why it took so long, Curtis, is because we always feel like we had to protect ourselves. And mostly like because we didn't want to get fired. We didn't want to do too much.
I mean,
I think that's what it was. We didn't want to do too much. And it's just like, it's kind of weird, like, because we said it the other day. We were talking about having to like necessarily think about something before we actually act on it. Remember that?
Bro. But what's crazy though is we're having to do all that internal work. We're having to convince ourselves, right? Not only am I having to wake up and convince myself, I'm having to convince you why I deserve to be here. And I'm already getting paid $20,000 less than you, right? in any given space. And so for me, as we take this back, right, to what does it mean to be a creative in this moment? What does all of this mean? I think it means doing a lot of introspective work, right? I think it means doing a lot of understanding what your why is, getting back rooted in that, and that being your guiding principle. Because at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, mediocre white men have been doing whatever they wanted to, saying whatever they wanted to for a long time, going on sabbaticals and, you know, doing whatever, right, within the system. And it's like, but we feel bad if we take days off.
We feel bad for taking days off, bro.
But you be sick. But you can barely stand up.
We sick at work from working. We're sick of working. That shit crazy. Crazy. We get time off, paid time off, PTO, and don't even take it.
Is this thing on? Hello? Yeah. What? You better go to Mykonos. Huh? Run that back and get a stipend. Okay. I am all for it. Like, people be playing around. Like, bro, mental health is not a joke. That's not nothing to play with. This is not, we have to understand that this is not about a bag, bro. We are in a spiritual war. Whatever you believe in, you got to understand that there are forces that are out there against you just as much as there is good. And to understand that, that means that we got to lift each other up.
They don't want us to talk about that.
I'm just saying, all of this is within the same space. Like, all of this is within the same world, and it's so important to realize, like, bro, quit convincing people. Don't convince nobody.
I just hope my friends over at SF Camerawork understand, like, when I had a show at SF Camerawork, and I think when I first kind of got to, like, the Bay Area, that's exclusively one of the places that I wanted to show work, mainly because of the location or whatever, and what it, like, I saw what it represented as a space when it come down to artistry and artists. And it's just like, you know, having that show there, seeing who was in the room, you know, and also having my daughter being there or whatnot, you know, it was just like, all right, this is it. Like, we have to keep the ball rolling. Like, this got to keep going. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's a lot of us out here. You know, no matter if I'm a transplant or not, you know what I'm saying? There are other artists who are Black, who represent this type of work, who needs to share and tell the story or whatever. And it's not like, you know, we're tired of having to beat the walls down to get into these spaces. Our work is here. It's been here. We don't want to keep posting it on Instagram to get likes and comments. We want to have it on the walls. Like, let us in. And so having Adrian, the other Adrian, real in the show, like, I got to show you his work. It's crazy. His story and what happened to him. And it, you know, like, with the police officer and Vallejo, and him sharing his work and him being able to, like, share that. Because Adrian survived. He's a survivor from police brutality. He's the survivor. Yeah. And so for that to happen to him and then share that work at a space like SF, like SF Camerawork has been blessed. You know what I'm saying? It's just like.
Thank you. Thank you for the language change. All of this, I'm so excited that so-and-so and so-and-so decided that I was good at. No. Every organization you walk into the doors, they're blessed to have you. That's the new tag. Right. You are the thing that can't be replaced. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason that Black Wall Street was built in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Right? There's a reason that we have been overlooked throughout history, burnt down. Erased. You know what I mean? Dismantled and displaced. Okay? Because when we talk about being a transplant, we're now not talking about displacement and taking you away from your lineage, your legacy, your birthright, just for the opportunity. It's not even promised to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just for the opportunity that you may make it.
Mm-hmm. And I think even when having these discussions and talks, with us doing the amount of work to get people to come and listen, the institutions need to do the work for other folks to come in, for their folks, their counterparts, to come and hear the talks too. It's not, we do this every day. We wake up and do it. We take a nap and do it. We wake up again from the nap and do it. We do it during lunch. We do it during dinner. We do it before we go to sleep. And then we do it all over again.
So you know what? You know what, bro? Not to cut you off, because I know we're going to have to open up for Q&A. Taking this back, right, to being a creative, what does it mean to be Black right now, to be creating, to be making work? What do you leave somebody with? What's your advice?
Man, just go into the space and be your honest true self. Honestly, I mean, I don't know who was in here from Visco or whatever, but I do know that they can honestly say that I was always me in that space. Mm-hmm. And I think like being authentically myself in this space or whatever, it showed not only the work that I can do with the help from my friends at the job. This is mostly like, this is all I have. You know what I'm saying? I can't put on a face. I don't have time. I'm already here. Yeah. Accept me for who I am. You know what I'm saying? You flew me out to Colorado Springs. I ain't want to be in Colorado Springs, but I accepted that, and I made it my home, and that was it. I was there.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I listened. I learned, but you're not going to tell me who I can be and what I can do and how I can do it. Just because I'm in this space or whatever. Yeah. Because you brought me in for a reason. And so if you brought me in to change who I am, I need to leave.
I'm out.
I need to get myself out. And that happened. That actually happened, bro. Like that happened. You know, it's not hard. It's not hard to like walk away from something. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this is what I'm gonna leave y'all with. Once you figure out that you can literally walk away from something, and it don't beat you up and eat you up inside as if like you need it, you think about it like this. This place needs me way more than I need them. And that's how I always felt into any space that I walk into. You need me.
Sure. And you have to. I think that I feel like there's been this theme of like, we have to be broken in order for us to be seen as having come from something.
Tired of that, bro.
Right? I don't want to be broken. Don't break me. Don't break me, actually. I don't want to do that. I don't think that I should have to do that. I don't think that we should normalize Blackness to need to be broken, to need to be policed, to need to be, over politicized, right? Like that's not the thing. And I feel like if anything, to leave with is like, honestly, just like understanding, like, I want us to also normalize like family, right? And it sounds like very aloof, but what I mean by that is like, the work is going to always be the work. Yep. But like the follow-up that I've learned is, what is it for? Mm-hmm. What's it for? Who's it for? What legacy is it for? Where does this thing go after you're gone? Right? And this idea that like, just make it bigger. Cause I think that what we see on Instagram and social media is like hustle. Like 10K club this, 20K club this. It's just like,
I don't mean anything.
That doesn't mean anything. I'm like, I want homies that are married. I want homies that are parents. Like, I want people that's giving me the blueprint of how to build a legacy. You know what I mean? And I need homeboys that's around me that's going to teach me and challenge me to be a better man.
I just want to survive, bro.
I want to live to die empty. That's what I want to do. Let me live to die empty.
All right. Dave, you can open up questions, my brother.
Wow. Thank you all. Well, the chat is open. There have been a few questions that have been coming through. We can also take a few questions if people want to unmute themselves.
Yeah, let's do it audibly. This is
hear their voice. I want to see faces.
Yeah, it's a spiritual exchange here. This like, yeah.
Look at Josh. Look at Josh looking cute.
I'm so weak.
I
haven't seen everybody. That's gonna throw me off.
I just want to say, big STL energy. I'm real proud of y'all. Y'all make me proud. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you.
Thank you. We love you.
See you in the morning.
How's it going, guys? Nico.
Hey.
Thank you guys for doing this. This was really tight, like really like inspiring. Definitely needed something like that kind of energy right now. But what I'm curious is, you know, like when it comes to people explaining what you do, right? And they're like, oh, these are Black photographers. Why can't it just be these are dope photographers or just photographers? Do you think it'll ever get to a point, or what do you think's what has to happen for the society and world to change from labeling us as just Black photographers to being, I'm just a photographer? Like why does the Black prefix have to be a thing? Or is that a bad thing? I don't know. I'm just curious your thoughts.
Adrian, I don't know how you want to do this, but I'll let Adrian probably answer first. But also I want to say, bro, that hair is fly. That's hard. Super hard. So let's start with that. Go ahead, Adrian.
Man, being being labeled as a Black photographer. I think labeling things itself, you know what I'm saying? I've never really been a fan of that, you know what I'm saying? As far as like just kind of like throwing a label on something and just like putting folks, like boxing folks in. I think when you hear that or whatever, I think you should just correct it, you know, as a photographer. You know, you don't really want to, if you don't want to be labeled or whatever, you let these people know, no matter what the institution is, you know, and if they feel a certain way, you talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I've been in those positions before, or where it's just like I had to explain why I should be in this type of space or whatever. And it's just like, you looking around on the walls, you be like, trust me, I belong in this space or whatever. So it's kind of like, I look at it honestly, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like you counteract or you counter that, you know what I'm saying, to them or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And like put them in a position where they have to feel as if like, I mean, no, not that they feel, you got to put them in a position where they're like, they know they're wrong. You know what I'm saying? If you feel that way. Because I haven't had that, like necessarily saying like the Black photographer or whatever, but I always emphasize that I am Black and the work is Black. And I've even had shirts that said, if you don't understand what this shirt is or who this shirt is for, then it's not for you. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of just there. You know what I'm saying? The shirt read Black women over breathing. And the tag and the inside it said, oh, when you went to go purchase, it said, if you don't understand what this means, then it's probably not for you. So I think like having to explain, you know what I'm saying? Because we are, like Curtis, we said this, you know what I'm saying? We already done the work or whatever, that we done the work or whatever. We paved the way, we did that or whatever. Now we have to explain the reason why. No, I don't think so. I think like we need to move on to the next thing.
Right.
I would just add to that really quickly. You know, I think it's just about who you are in your person. You know, I think that we feel like we need to make these edits or to me, those type of questions are a direct correlation to whiteness. Like, I am a Black image maker. That's what I am. And I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? I'm a Black director. And I think that we just got to a space where the word black and the letter B was just capitalized, right? Like, until we are talking about real equity, you gonna call me a black image maker, because I need you to understand the difference in the canon from which I'm coming from. You know what I mean? Like, and so I think it's just, I think it's personal. I don't think anybody is wrong, you know what I mean, and how they approach it. But I think it's all about what you care about, you know? And I don't, what I was saying, the follow-up is, regardless of whether I identify with black whatever in front of that, the work is still the work. And the price is what the price is. And I said what I said. You know what I mean? So regardless,
Don't ever feel like you have to dictate or change your pricing. Nothing that you put a price on.
throw some zeros on it. Either way, black or not.
If you feel that your work is worth $10,000, it's worth $10,000. That's just what it is. You know.
That's it.
Definitely. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for your question, Brody.
I think we have time for at least one more. If anybody else wants to raise their hand, either digitally or virtually. I'm kind of scanning the.
Where's Nate Love? Nate Love has his hand raised.
Nate did have a question. Nate, do you want to unmute or ask it in text?
Yeah. That was my question of a black photographer. What is black photography? That was my question. And it seems like one of you kind of believes there is such a thing, and one of you doesn't. So it looks like there's a little bit of a debate on the topic of, is there a black photography? Is that a genre?
There's no debate.
Yeah, I don't think I wouldn't say a debate. I would just say that it's all about how you decide to identify. And,
you want to be identified. Yeah. I want to be identified. I want it to be known or whatever. So I put it in my bio. You know, you probably look at my name and think I'm Greek. Octavius is Greek, so you probably think way different. You know, if I didn't have a picture there.
All right. Well, we are coming up right at the end of the hour. Adrian and Chris.
I just want to shout out Ron Saunders. He's an amazing man, like amazing man. Get to know him. That's a Bay Area legend right there.
I just made Ron comfortable uncomfortable by spotlighting his video. Good to see you, Ron. With that, I think it's great to see you, of course. And then, so we're coming up on the end of the hour. I actually want to hand it over to our board president, Michelle Branch, to see us out. Thank you all so much for being here.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Curtis. And thanks, Adrian. It's great to see you tonight. And I think it's a real privilege for everyone to actually be a fly on the wall, really, and hear you, have conversations between one another, unedited, unfiltered. I think people are learning a lot. I think it's important. So thank you for willing to be open and to do that. So many of the comments in the chat are about, people feeling like you're speaking openly and, giving a lot of information to people that's really helpful. So thank you for that. So we're SF Camerawork. We actually do have a commitment to Black image makers that the board has made. And we think that that's really important. And you can read about it on our website about why that's important. And we also have an auction coming up, which I'm really excited about because we just launched talking about it today. And so that auction is entitled "See How Beautiful I Am." And that phrase comes from a Langston Hughes poem called "I Too." And the idea here is radical inclusivity and the power of the camera. And so I hope that you will check out a lot of the programming that we have coming up from artists. The other thing I wanted to say is that SF Camerawork, we learned recently in our talk with Chris Johnson, who is at CCA and the chair of the photography department there. He had a talk with us a few weeks ago about Question Bridge Black males. And what he said to us is that Camerawork is an organization that is by artists and for artists. So it is really important for us to hear from artists and to hear how they think, how they feel, and how they make work. So we really appreciate you, Curtis and Adrian, joining us tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for the space. Thank y'all that showed up. Shout out to y'all.
Thanks for showing up and thanks for staying. That was really cool. It's late. It's a Thursday night. I could be drinking somewhere.
Did we get like one big group photo? Like, are we able to get a group?
Yeah, can we do that?
I did take. I took the liberty of taking a screenshot. I can. We can do another one if people are comfortable with it, and we can try to send it around. At least.
Look at Jennifer with the flex.
Everybody looking good?
Yes,
All right.
everybody's ready. Yes.
All right. Get that to
Thank you guys. Thanks to all the guests. It's really wonderful to see you here. Please
Thank
come
you
back.
all tonight.
You're welcome anytime.
Oh, and we'd love to see more of your work, Adrian and Curtis, as well. It's great to hear the conversation. I'm looking for an excuse to get you back and share some of the amazing images that you've been talking about next time. I'm really eager to see that too. So I hope to see you again soon.
Yep, the doors are open.
Thank y'all.
See y'all.
Thank you, everybody, for pulling up. Peace.
Peace.